Hey Math121, this is Mr. Nelson. I decided to make a quick video. Probably won't be quick, but you can fast forward through the parts that are boring. Uh, so, I am a teacher, a retired math teacher from Gilbert High School, Basha High School, Mesquite Junior High School. I also taught at this college a few times back in 2000, blah, 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 blah. I forgot if it's before 2020 for sure. I know that. So anyway, this is my I don't know umpteen time teaching this class. The One of the requirements you have to do is to make sure you go over the syllabus, and if you find mistakes, let me know. But it just kind of our contract between us as we go through this. So we were meeting on February 2nd, and Monday, Wednesdays, 11:30 to 1:25 ish. Anyway, so that's our deal there. I'm not a full time instructor, so I don't have like office hours, but I can meet you because I don't have any other jobs between now and this thing. So, anyway, we have a 4 credit class, which means we meet 80 clock hours, and we're kind of expecting you to spend some time outside a classroom doing work. The district has said at least 192 hours for research, writing, completing assignments, talking to students, tutoring, all that jazz, which is about 17 hours per week. Ours is a little bit more than that because we have 2 weeks off, the first 2 weeks. So you can expect 10 to 20 hours a week worth of stuff to do. Now, my stuff won't be that much, but your stuff is to get organized and so forth. So it's kind of a thing we've had for years. We have to say this because that's what the workload is about. So, in other words, not everything is going to happen in the classroom. A lot of it will happen outside the classroom. I'm just the highlight guy. I'm just giving you the quick reels, the teaser videos, or whatever you call it in movies, the trailers, if you will. Anyway, so I'm Richard Nelson. I go by Rich in the real world, but you can call me Mr. Nelson or Professor Nelson or whatever. I don't really have any names yet. I don't. I'm not hung up on that. Like I said, I don't have an office except for the internet. We're going to use the Remind app, which is a thing you download on your phone, and then in my Canvas here and here you'll have affected. So I can see it next paragraph. How to get into that. The website is Canvas. We'll just use our Canvas to talk to each other and communicate our documents. You can send a text message to 81010. I have a message, blah, blah, blah. See Canvas for more information. We could talk more about that later. So that's more of a direct approach to get to me. So, like, if you're going to miss that class and I can't access your email from my phone, so I need the computer to access your message. So if you need it to be quick, like I can't make class or I'll be late 15 minutes or whatever, and likewise, if I need something from you, please respond quickly and make sure your notifications are turned on for that. I will try to be on campus way before 11:30. So if you want to meet up to get some tutoring before a test or something, let me know a couple days in advance or at least 24 hours. I do teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:30. So if you need to make up a test or make up a test or something, you can come see me and take the test in the back corner of the room or something. I want you to use the email over here, which is inbox right here. Although we can't see it because my pen goes off the grid. Sorry. It's called inbox. Or you can just direct email me at richard.nelson@cgc.edu. Okay. So these are the competencies we're going to learn. We'll talk more about that later, but make sure you read those. It's hard to know. Oh, as far as technology is concerned, you can use either a TI-84 calculator or something similar to it. There are some in the library if you want. Most of the time we're going to use Desmos because it's a more user-friendly approach, and we can access it with the internet. So if you have a tablet, a laptop, and of course your phone would work too, but for people like me, I don't like that little small buttons with my fingers, so I prefer to use something with keypads, the full size. But if you use the phone, you have to use a special app. We'll have you download. It's called Desmos Test Beta app. It permits it. How do I say this? It doesn't let you have access to the internet while we're taking tests. I mean, obviously during class time you can use it in non mode like that, but we could talk more about that too. But those are the three things we're going to use. One of the three things. You can either use the phone and a calculator or a computer and a calculator, but not a phone and a computer on a test because it's about cheating, and so it's kind of hard to navigate that during the test. If you have need for some materials, look for the scholarship material here. Sorry, I'm talking fast for some reason because I'm worried about the video length. We don't let you use AI for testing or homework, but you can. I use AI to see if I can learn the material, but not to use it to cheat, basically. We do have a thing called Chandler Gilbert has a thing called Dropout Detective. It helps the staff decide whether or not students are having troubles because they don't do their homework. So read that. We have a lockdown browser for exams, especially if you're on online class. This is not an online class, but during our test, if you want to use, because your phone died, you want to use your laptop instead, we have a lockdown browser so that you can't access other websites. Make sure you read about your email setup, password stuff. I don't really that's not my deal, but I have to put it in there. If you have a special name you want to go by instead of Elizabeth, you want to be called Liz, let me know. I'll try my best to write that down, and I won't know your name for the first couple weeks, so give me some grace there. The technology requirements, they're right there in front of you. You're gonna have a quiz on this syllabus, so make sure you kind of read it, or maybe take the quiz and see what questions they're asking you about, so that you can study those concepts. This may be the best schedule we have right now. We have 4 tests, 4 exams, and to talk about each of these topics, and then the final exam May 11th at 11 o'clock. So this is non-negotiable. You have to go to this test on this date, and so make sure you look into your schedule in the future, and make sure that you can make that test. If not, you might want to consider dropping this class and taking another time. This is 25% of your grade, so this is locked and loaded right there for that. The grading, I grade stuff with lessons, checkpoints, discussion boards, quizzes, and of course the exam and final exam. Read all that stuff. Not too many extra credit opportunities. Once in a while I'll throw an extra credit problem, but no extra credit assignments just for, just to get your grade up. Just do your work. That's the best way to do it. And homework, of course, I know that's a bad word. It's like housework and paperwork, and it's annoying, but unfortunately it's the only way people learn topics like math is to practice and practice and practice, and the more you don't know, the more you need to do the homework. We do have checkpoint quizzes, which may or may not be graded. Those are just for you to kind of see where you're at, to check your progress. We call it check CYUs, check your understanding. Quizzes may or may not be announced. I may say, hey, put everything away, here's a piece of paper, let's quiz right now, and that's it. You will get to use some sort of note sheet. I will talk more about that during class. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to do that this semester. And we don't really do makeup exams, but we can definitely talk about that on a case-by-case situation. I have some tricks up my sleeve I can do if I get that situation in my life. All right. The final exam is the entire course, so you can't just think it's the last part of our class. It's the whole thing. So everything from day one to day whatever 116th week. Um, it's usually only like 6 or 7 questions, but as you'll see in this class, 6 questions could be like 25 to 30 because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So homework is not very big of a big part of your grade, but it's a big part of your learning. So keep that in mind. You could probably sacrifice the homework and not do it and get 85% if you ace everything else. But I guarantee most people who don't do homework don't get 100% on everything else. All right. So here's our tentative calendar. We have a couple days off so far scheduled. February 16th is, I believe, President's Day, and the campus is closed. Spring break, March 16th through the whatever the end of the day is, 19th, I think, or 20th. That's spring break, so no classes that day. Because we're a shorter calendar, we don't really allow you to have too many absences, so be careful with that. In fact, here it is. You can have 2 absences, unexcused or excused, and then the third one, you may be dropped. Typically based on grade and your attitude, and I'm like, if you're gonna just not show up and not tell me and not communicate, then you obviously don't want to be in this class. So I'll give you that one. I'll send you an email saying this is your last chance. So please do not ghost me because that is not respectfully the right way. Let's see. There's a way about withdrawals in here. There's 2 kinds of ways of leaving the class. One is the F, or one is the withdrawal grade, W. The W typically doesn't hurt your GPA. F does. And some people need to worry about financial aid and GI bills and so forth. So please make sure if you are in those situations, don't get in trouble with the drops. Okay. We just want you to make sure you have academic integrity. Do your own work. That's across the campus, not just math. If I catch you in cheating mode, I will just send a report to the place that I'm not sure what it's called again, but I done it last semester. I sent it to this special place that puts it in file, and then if your name pops up and from other different teachers, different classes, then you will be discussed with some sort of consequence. That includes plagiarism, academic misconduct, so forth. So anyway, just read those. It's a technical thing I have to say and do. So if you have the biggest one I saw last semester was people with 2 phones. If I catch you with that, then you get a 0 for that test, and I report you. The second time, I will just drop you or give you the F. Depends on the situation. It's a May situation. So I have the disability ones. If you have a DRS, then and you know who you are, then you will communicate that with me. We'll talk about testing and the other places later. And we have a computer lab, and we also have testing services, and we also have learning center tutoring. Students last semester really enjoyed this tutoring. They keep track of your hours there, and some people spent a lot of hours, like over 80 hours over there getting tutoring, because sometimes people just need to make sure they get an A in the class, and they want to they get this extra help. And there are some tutors over there that are amazing. They'll talk about that the first day of class. And here's some tips for success. I would just say block out this time in your schedule. Make sure there's nothing will interfere with that, whether it's work, family, whatever, and just go for it. Okay, and then there's a chance I might have to change something in the syllabus, usually due dates and some policies, but typically this is the one I use for all my classes. So anyway, hopefully this helps a little bit. And there's a quiz over here in the modules. See if I can click the modules. Okay, good. It popped up in the square. All right. First thing you're going to do when you get to the modules is you start here, and then somewhere down here will be the syllabus quiz. That's worth 7 points, I guess, because 7 questions. Okay? All right, have a good day. Bye.